Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl, Audrey Codner. And you're probably like, yo, where have you been? Well, I have been working really hard trying to get myself together so I can not be homeless and penniless. So let's get some math done because this is almost the end of March. So if you are thinking about getting your GED in April, if you're thinking about getting your ASVAB, the ACCUPLACER, the TEAS test, the HESI test, Praxis, anything that has to deal with basically algebra, college algebra, well, this is the live for you. So I don't know who's going to be here, but I am here for a short time. So let's get started. So what happens is I show you a problem, and of course I'm working on some problems for my up and coming book. Be on the lookout. So there are just a couple of them that I want to go through and see how you guys will do at it. So you look at the problem, which is 24 divided by 4 times 3 minus 1. So we just want you to put your answer in the comments. So normally I would have like an A, B, C, D type situation. But right now, since tests are right around the corner, we're going to need to kind of step our game up. So if you think you know what the answer is, go ahead and put that in the comments. So it is 24 divided by 4 times 3 minus 1. So figure out how you will do it. And if you're not sure what it is, go ahead and put a question mark. And of course, I'm going to go over it step by step. All right, thanks everyone. I got some 3s, I have some 4s. Hey cousin, how you doing, Candy? So we got some 3s, we got 12s, and we have some 2s. So we have a little combinations. Thank you for all you guys coming in. Jay, I'm seeing you with your 12s. Okay, Simon, I'm seeing with your 3s. C-Wise, I'm seeing you with 3s. We got a 17 with RJ. Okay, we have Dino with 12. Hello, Janice is saying 12. RJ with 17, I see you. Holden with 12. Okay, so we still had a whole bunch of 3s. We removed brackets first. All right, so we have those 3s. We have our J's. We have Big X with a 12. Okay, we got Aflac with a 3, I think. All right, so we have a lovely combination. So I'm seeing 3s, I'm seeing 12s, and a couple sprinkle-ins with the 17s. And now we got an extra 4. So let's take a look. So first thing we have to remember, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally from left to right, okay? So first things first, we need to take care of our parentheses. So we are not doing 24 divided by 6, which gives me 6. And then we'll do 3 minus 1 gives me 2, so 6 times 2. We have to do what's inside the parenthesis first. So 3 minus 1, that gives us 2. Bringing everything down. So I know based off of some of the answers, a lot of you guys, especially if you said 3, you said, okay, 4 times 2, which gives me 8, and 24 divided by 8 gives me 3. We have to remember from left to right. So that means we have to take care of the 24 first. We always take care of either multiplication or division depending on the process from left to right. So 24 divided by 4, that gives me 6. And then 6 times 2, that gives me 12. So our answer is 12, okay? All right, so remember, I know a lot of people, yes, parentheses do mean multiplication. Okay, parentheses does mean multiplication. So I know we're normally seeing when it comes to the whole process, you're like, oh, okay, well, multiplication comes before division, but the key part is from left to right. So you have to do those process. All right, let's try another one. Let me see what you guys get for this one. Okay, so right here, I want you to solve. So we have 3 times 11x minus 8 equals 42. What do you think the answer is? It's perfectly fine. I love how someone's snitching. You changed your answer. You can do anything you want. All right. Thank you so much for sharing the live. I appreciate it. And thank you for the love. I appreciate it. I know I haven't been here for a minute, but I am trying to create something big and great for all of you. In order for me to do that, time had to be taken somewhere, and I had to take it from TikTok. So, of course, TikTok is like punishing me, but that's okay. All right, so I'm seeing some twos. I see a couple twos. Arise is saying twos. NMEG saying twos. Somali is saying two. Ray with the two. Kimberly with the two. I saw you, NMEG. Someone else said two as well. Okay, this is that Reebok saying 3 times 11. Okay, so Henry with the 2, Vogue with the 2, Mr. Fitz with the 2. Okay, Juliet with the 2. Brittany, that's a good question. Or Britain, sorry. I didn't see the, oh, well, it is Brittany. That's cute. That's a good question. You can do it one of two ways. Okay, you can do it one of two ways. So I will actually show you both of the ways. Okay, so there we go, there we go. All right, oh, thank you, math dude, appreciate you. Okay, I got to tell you took your second test. Oh, you passed that one? Good job, Candy. Look at you, you're on a roll. Appreciate you. All right, so let's take a look. One of the two ways. So one of the ways, which Miss Brittany, cute way, was saying, we could do the distribution. So when we distribute, we multiply. So 3 times 11, that gives us 33. And then 3 times -8, that gives me -24. And it will equal our 42. So when you're solving equations, you basically want to isolate the variable. So it's almost like the equal sign is like one side of the room and this is the other side of the room. So we want to make sure that we want to get x by itself. We can't touch the 33. That's what a lot of you guys do right off the bat. If I want to think of a relationship, I want to think of 33 and x. You're the x. Your significant other is the 33. You guys are together. Boom. Stick. Thick as thieves. Then here comes this -24 that wants to kind of interrupt it. You know, there's always that one. So what do when someone that's trying to come at you negative? You do the opposite. You add them. You bring a little positivity. So that will make that person come over here. So whatever happens over here, we don't really care because it's all about you and your boo. So over here, they're getting it together. They're vibing. So 2 + 4, that gives me 6. So we have our 6 and 6. Ooh, one way away from the devil. Thank you, Lord. All right, so now we got 33x = 66. So now your boo is acting up. What do? We got to divide them out of our lives. Yes, we do. We do not handle toxicity whatsoever. So when we divide that person out of our lives, boom, here we are being Mr. and Miss Independent. And then 66 divided by 33, that will give you your 2. Okay? So another way of doing it, because there's always alternate ways. So if I rewrite, we have our 3 times our 11x minus 8 = 42. And I think someone else mentioned it earlier. Since you are multiplying this 3 and we don't have a plus or a minus anything outside this parenthesis, we got straight multiplication happening on the left-hand side. So what's the inverse of multiplication? It's going to be division. So we can divide both sides by that 3. So what happens is what's inside that parenthesis will simply come down. And then when we want to divide that 42 in 3, that will give us our 14. Yep. So now we want to get our x by itself, so we're going to add the 8. So now we have 11x. And I know earlier we were talking about 33, but we don't have here. We have a 22. So then if you divide both sides by 11, ran out of room, your x is going to equal 2. Two different approaches, but the same result. Okay, right? So you don't have to distribute all the way. I know we have teachers that say this is the way, this is the only way. There are multiple ways of getting the same answer, okay? All right, thank you so much for the follows. Okay, so let's try something a little bit more on the challenge, just a little bit, okay? Simplify that. So we have x times x plus 3 plus 2 times x plus 3. What will be my end result? Okay. Oh, thank you, Janice, for the highlight. Thank you for the roses and the gifts. I greatly appreciate it. Why is 44 divided by 33? Why is 44? There wasn't a 44. Where are you getting a 44 from? There was a 42. Okay. So we have x plus 2 times x plus 3. We have x squared plus 5x plus 6. The same with no. We have from user name. Okay, we got that x squared plus 5x plus 6. We have Kip just lurking. Smiley said, yeah. Okay. You got stuck on? Okay, not a problem. I'll be able to break it on down for you. Okay. Open brackets, collect like terms, solve. We can do it that way as well. Ain't it delta? We are not finding slope. Unless I missed a conversation somewhere. Probably. Okay, you have no idea? Not a problem. Okay. So let's take a look. Hey, Jumpin' Jan, how are you? So let's take a gander. All right, so if we may, and I think I'm going to take one of my cards that I already used, I'm going to cover up one side. So if we notice here, we have x times x plus 3. So we are going to do our lovely distributive property. Now when we distribute, we multiply. So x times x. Now that's the part that a lot of people generally get wrong. They always say 2x. You're not adding. Okay, x plus x. So if I have one x and then I have another x, I got two x's. That's addition. We're multiplying. So when you multiply and you don't see an exponent, it's assumed to be a 1. When you multiply, you add your exponents. So you're going to keep that base of x, but it's going to be raised to the second power. Now we're going to have our plus sign. Now we have x times 3. So that gives me 3x. Because 3's are numbers, x's are our variables. Now when I slide this over, I'm going to do the exact same thing on this other side. You see this plus sign that's right here? That's going to come on down. And if I can, I'm going to cover up the other side, just so it'll be a little bit easier for us to see. And what we're going to do is we're going to do the distributive property on this side. So it's not like the other time when you just say, oh, I can divide both sides by 2. There's no two sides. There's no equal sign. Since there's no equal sign, there's just all this is happening all on one side. So now we have 2 times x, which gives me 2x. And 2 plus 3, that gives me a positive 6. So 2 times positive 3. So now, instead of looking at all this madness in the top, we're going to focus our attention right here. So we have our x squared plus 3x plus 2x plus 6. Right here, smack in the middle, This is where everybody's getting that 5x from. Those are like terms. The reason why I'm not including this x squared, because this has a squared as an exponent, whereas these has ones. So I can't do anything with it other than let's combine what's called my like terms. So we have x squared plus 5x plus 6. And this will be our answer because x squared, x, and a constant are 3 separate worlds. They can join together and stand next to each other in line, but no, they cannot date. Okay? All right. So yes, a quadratic triple. Good job. Thank you for sharing the live. I appreciate it, you guys. I know right now TikTok is a little upset at me because I know people that usually see me, they're like, girl, there's only 10 people in here. What's going on? Well, that's what happens when you leave TikTok for about a week and a half and then you try to come back because they have to give them time to push your stuff, right? It's all right. So you're in Algebra 2. Can you do polynomial functions? Yes, I can, but not for today because I have a set number and I only have so much time because I do have to tutor. So let's give this one a try. So we have 2/3 x is equal to 8. What does x equal? Well, thank you, Casper. Yeah, you don't need to have stressful times. Okay, I'm not trying to be all stressful out here. So we're trying to figure out what x is. And I know some of you guys are probably like, there's a fraction, I'm freaking out. No. And don't change that fraction to a decimal. I'm going to show you how you can do it. Okay? All right, so we got 12s, we got 12s, we got 12s, we got 12s, we got Brittany 12, Janice 12, we got Jan 12, we got a couple 12s, got 12s, Star, we got 12s. Okay, just withdraw from both my classes and I don't know how that was real. Oh, hey, now you got someone that can help you out with it because I've been helping a lot of people out with the college algebra concepts. Okay, so we got 12, we have an 8. All right, we got 1/12. All right, so thank you so much for sharing for the live, Janice. I appreciate you. So here we go. So any other? We have a lot of people with 12s. So let's take a look. 2/3, if we think of it this way, it's 2 divided by 3. That's what fractions are. It's just simply division. So we have to think of the inverse. Anytime you're solving, you want to do the inverse. So the inverse of division is multiplication. So I'm going to show you 2 ways, okay? The first way a lot of people know is since I'm doing division, I know I'm supposed to be multiplying something on both sides. And what that something is not the 2. The reason why you want to multiply something is to get rid of this fraction form. So you're always multiplying whatever the denominator is. So it doesn't matter. Anytime you need to solve and you have a fraction, the first thing you could do, because remember I'm showing you one of 2 ways, is you could multiply both sides by whatever the denominator is. The reason why, because if I do 3 divided by 3, that's going to give me a 1. And 1 times anything is itself. So what's left over here is going to be 2x. So now we have 8 times 3. Well, that gives me 24. So now, just like that club mix, it's you and your boo. Your boo's messing up, so how do we get rid of them? We divide them out of our lives. Don't go back. They'll be like, but he was nice to me last week. No. So now we have 24 divided by 2, which gives us our 12. Okay? So that's one way. That's how we can do this. We can break it on down. Now here's another way. And especially when you get advanced, this is just another way to look at it. So So I am going to multiply just like how we did, because 2/3, that is division. But we're going to multiply by the reciprocal or the flip of this ratio. Because what we're going to do is we're going to take care of the numerator and the denominator all at once. So if I multiply both sides, oops, I'm going to multiply by 3/2. The reason why I would do that is if I cross simplify, I got 3 divided by 3, that gives me 1. I got 2 divided by 2, that gives me 1. So 1 times x is just 1x, or I can just simply write the x. So when I multiply by its flip, the reciprocal, then we can multiply a whole number with a fraction. So now here's another teaching point. If you want, make that whole number into a fraction without losing its value. When you do that, you're dividing over 1. So now this is what we got to do. We got to do 8, multiply straight across. 8 times 3, that gives me 24. 1 times 2, that gives me 2. And then what's 24 divided by 2? Because remember, fractions is nothing but division. That will also give you a 12. So you get to pick and choose which way. If you're taking any of these standardized tests, they really do not care, okay? They don't care about all this work. All they care about those standardized tests, if you chose A, B, C, or D. That's all they care about, okay? Don't really care about details. But if you're a person that's still in the classroom and you have to show your work, make sure you show your work. But you got choice. You got choices. Okay? There's more than one way of getting the same answer. Yeah. So a lot of people like the first one. Some people like the second one. Pick and choose whichever you want, right? Okay. Let's go. All right. So let's try this one. Okay, a little bit of geometry in my life. You're like, what? I know. Well, there's geometry in the exam, so I might as well stay suit. And let me read it, because I think sometimes when people take the test, there's certain phrases that they don't recognize. If triangle BAT is congruent, okay, they mean the same angles, same length of sides, to triangle DOG, and the measure of angle B is 14 degrees, the measure of angle G is 29 degrees, and the measure of angle O, that's not a 0, just a letter O because of dog, O, is 10x plus 7 degrees. They want you to find x. Probably like, I don't know what's going on. I'm going to walk you through it. Okay. Lord help me. It's okay. Okay. So if I need to go over, I will let it go over. I love how everybody's going straight to Jesus right now. Come on. Right? Just take your time with it. Take a look, and I will break this down. Okay, don't say, oh, this is too hard. I'm out. All right, already lost? Okay, I got you. It's not, Brittany, it's not that deep. Nope, it's not even the Pythagorean theorem. Yeah, it's not the Pythagorean theorem. What are you looking at? So, take a gander. First thing, if you're not sure, draw a picture. Doesn't matter what kind of triangle, as long as it's a triangle. So this is triangle BAT. Then we have another triangle. Triangle DOG. Okay, so they're saying that the measure of angle B is 14. So 14 degrees goes right here. Okay, they're saying the measure of angle G is 29 degrees. And the measure of angle O, which is this one, is 10x plus 7 degrees. And they want us to find x. So here's the thing. How many degrees, if I add all three of these angles of a triangle, how many degrees is a triangle? Put that into the chat. How many degrees is a triangle? Okay, start with 180, Brandy 180, it's 180, Misha 180, Bed 180, Brenda 180. Okay, it's going to be 180. Okay, Crystal got you. All right, 180, 180, 180. Awesome. So here's the thing. Notice angle B and angle D, they're supposed to be congruent. Angle A and angle O, they're congruent. T and G, they're congruent. They gave us 2 out of the 3 angles for this triangle DOG. But since B is 14 degrees and it's supposed to be congruent to D, isn't this also 14 degrees? So now this is what you're going to do. You're going to add them together. So I got 14 plus my 29 plus my 10x plus 7 equals 180. Because all the angles, the sum of the angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. So then this is what we need to do. We need to add our like terms. So that's 14 plus 29 plus 7. So that gives us 50. Oh, that's nice. So that gives us 10x plus 50 equals 180. So someone said earlier, we got 130. How did he got 130? Because he subtracted 50 on both sides. So now we have 10x is equal to that 130. Okay. So we add all the angles up. We figured out whatever angle B was is the same as angle D because these two triangles are congruent. So then if we add all 3 of the angles up and have it equal to 180, we figured out that 14, 29, and 7 gave me 50. Subtract 50 on both sides because we need to do the inverse if we're going to solve for x. Now we divide by 10. So x is equal to 13. Okay, so now for the ones that were praying to God earlier, you guys are cracking me up. How are we feeling now? What are your questions? Put it in the chat so I can see now. Okay. Hey, thank you, Chuck. Why did you know that? Did you know? Not so bad? Okay. You really hate math? You don't really hate math. You hate how math makes you feel. Because you're probably remembering yourself when you were younger and you were first introduced to this, and you probably had a teacher that was like, do this, do that. And you always had questions, but no one really took the moment to sit down to break it down to you. So usually you want to study it. Awesome. Okay. GED level. Yes, it is. Yeah. And the practice does do it. So my whole thing is, guys, a lot of us, a good majority of us, including myself, we were going through trauma when we were kids. We're doing math. You know, we were going through a lot of trauma. It took us a while just to understand numbers. And then all of a sudden they started putting letters and numbers together. And they called it algebra. And they were like, what? And then you had some people that got it and they were awesome at it. but then you weren't one of those people. And then you just feel some type of way. So anytime someone tries to bring a math problem to you, you want to shut down. And that's why I'm here. Okay, I'm here to break some concepts down. All right, 2 more, and then I have to get myself ready for my next tutoring session. All right, so another little geometry. Okay, so a rectangle's length is twice the width. The perimeter is 20. Find the width. Who remembers? Perimeter. Hey, Jacinda, thank you so much. Perimeter. What is perimeter? We could put it in length. Yep, it's so intimidating, right? Oh, thank you. Perimeter, yes. You add up all the sides. Yes. Yes. Is this too advanced? Well, Misha, if anything, it depends on what math your son is taking. This is like basically like a little bit of algebra, a little bit of geometry, which generally you'll see on your GED, high school equivalency test, some in Algebra 1, but we try to have like a nice, easy mixture, okay? But I'm going to tell you some stuff at the end where you can go because I do keep my recordings. So for the rectangle, here we go. So if I have a little rectangle, we have our length, we have our width. So notice we have 2 lengths and 2 widths because we're going to add all 4 of the sides up. So since we have 2 widths and 2 lengths, this is what generally you do for the formula. So the perimeter is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. They're telling us what the perimeter is. And they're saying the perimeter is 20. So I'm going to replace my P with a 20. But they also gave us some additional information, especially about the length. They're saying the length is twice its width. So if I'm using W for the width, how do I represent twice its width? Put that into the chat. What is twice its width? What does that, what would represent that algebraically? So twice its width. So we got 4W, we got a W2, we got W2. We got 2W, 2. Okay, star, I'm glad you did it like that because this is why we should not use X when we get into algebra because it looks like 2xW instead of 2 times W. So one of the things you can just put it together and just say 2W, okay? I appreciate you. Thank you for doing that. You're probably like, okay. But I appreciate that. All right. So we have 2W plus 2 times the width, which is W is still being represented. Notice everything now is in terms of W. And that's what we're looking for. So we replaced the length with the definition they had up here, which was twice its width. So now let's multiply. So that means we have 20 equals 4W plus 2W. And now we have like terms because both of these, and they're on the same side, the equal sign, both of them are associated with a W. So 4 plus 2, that gives me 6. And I know there's a lot of you guys got an answer and you're like, I think it's wrong. Well, let's see. So now we're going to divide both sides by 6. And now we have 26. Well, I know that 20 and 6, they're both even numbers. So they both can be reduced by 2. So if I reduce it by 2, I'm really dividing it. So 20 divided by 2, that gives me 10. And 6 divided by 2, that gives me 3. So we have 10 thirds, or you can have your 3.3333333 repeating. Okay. All right. Or if you want to say 3 1/3, look at all these different ways you can represent your answer. Look at this variety. Okay. 3 different ways to represent it, but that would be your solution. Okay. All right. So Brittany, where did I lose you? I'm really enjoying that. Okay. Plug it into the equation. What, the 2W? What grade do I teach? 7th grade all the way up to adults. Okay. So this 2W took the place of the L. The L was our length. And it said at the very beginning, the length is twice the width. So we're saying that width is going to represent W. Twice means it happens twice, 2 times. So 2 times W, which can be written as 2W. There you go. Divide 20. Where did you get to? Oh, from the 20 from here. Yes. So it's going to be a whole process. So anytime they say perimeter, we should be thinking of this equation. 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Because you're adding up the sides. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because this is not a square. Because a square, all the sides are equal. This is a rectangle. So we only have 2 pairs of congruent sides. Okay, so it's not going to be W squared because we're not multiplying a W times a W. That's the only time you get W squared. And area is length times width, right? But we weren't working on area. Okay. All right. So you're checking your answer, Brittany, to see if it'll give you the 20. All right. Okay. All right. One more. I wonder if I answered questions or no. All right. So we got one more. So it seems like we need to kind of step and break down fractions. So we have 3/2 plus 4 2/3. What would be our answer? Sanchi is saying 8 1/6. Okay, I think you should put a follow, Edgar. Appreciate it. 49/6. Okay, D is saying 8 1/4. 49/6. Put your formula back. What do you mean? And plus, I'm hoping you're saying please and thank you because, you know, I know we have home training. You probably don't know me. Like, that's major with me. I like the please and thank yous. I don't know where they went, but they definitely need to bring their asses back. Okay. As the same as GED. Yes, believe it or not. believe it or not, I think everyone keeps thinking there's a major separation. I think with the word problems, some may have a slight differentiation, but when it comes to the HESET, I think HISET, it's the same as the GED. It's a high school equivalency. Okay. Oh, thanks, Jan. What country do I teach at? Well, I'm in the U.S. So, yep, I'm definitely in the U.S. But I have tutored people in Nairobi, Kenya, and Cairo, Egypt. That's like the furthest I've gone. And I think I had a couple people in London for a little bit. But other than that, mostly all throughout the United States, including Alaska and Puerto Rico. So, his girlfriend is expanded to Puerto Rico. So, hey, she must be doing something right. You're new from Nigeria? All right, well, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Yes. Can I just solve it already? Well, why didn't you solve it? What was your answer, darling? No. Okay. So we got a whole bunch of 8 and 1 6. I have 8 and 1 6, 8 and 1 6. No, I do not. Sorry. No. All right. So we can do this one of two ways. The first way is we could change these mixed numbers into improper fractions. So in order for you to do that, we have to take our denominator, multiply it by the whole number, and then take that answer to add it to the numerator to create your new numerator. So we have 2 times 3, that gives me 6, plus 1, that gives me 7. Bring down the plus sign. The denominator for this one is a 3. So we have 3 times 4, that gives me 12. 12 plus 2 gives me 14. So that's how you go from a mixed number to an improper fraction. The reason why it's improper, because your numerators are larger than the denominators. It's almost like seeing, we used to call them meatheads back in the day. Like when you're in the gym and you're lifting and from your waist up, you're like ripped, like just extremely ripped, but you got these itty bitty twigs for legs. I need for you to hit a leg day. Okay, balance it all out. So now we need to have a common denominator. What number does 2 and 3 have in common? So if I look at the multiples, the least common multiples, so we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 for the 2 times table. We have 3, 6, 9, 12. But the least, the number that they both have in common, is 6. Okay, so that's finding your least common multiple. So if I need to change these denominators to 6's, I need to multiply 2 times what to give me 6? 2 times 3. Whatever I multiply in the denominator, I do the same in the numerator. So 3 times 7, my new numerator is going to be 21. Okay, so I had to change that 2 to a 6, so I multiplied by 3. Whatever I do in the denominator, I do in the numerator. Same thing's happening over here. So change that 3 to a 6, I need to multiply it by 2. So 3 times 2, that gives us our 6, and 14 times 2, that gives me my 28. So 21 plus 28, that gives us our 49. 49.6. If you don't like to leave your answer, if you look and you're like, I don't see it. My answer is supposed to be a mixed number, Miss Audrey. All right. How do I change an improper fraction to a mixed number? I simply divide. So how many sets of 6's can fit into 49 without going over? 8. Because 8 times 6 gives me 48. So now when I subtract 49 minus 48, I get 1. So I'm not putting a decimal if I need to change it to a mixed number. So I have my whole number of 8. I have my remainder, which is 1, and you put it over the divisor, which is 6. So that's how you're seeing a lot of people with that mixed number of 8 and 1/6. Okay. Are we all right? Yep, either answer would be correct. But I like to show both just in case you're looking at the answer choices and your answer choices are mixed numbers instead of an improper fraction. So I'll show you how you can switch it from an improper fraction to a mixed number. Okay. Yep, it depends on what they're asking for. If they're asking for decimals, you're still doing the division, but you would just add your decimal and your zeros and add your decimal up top. Okay. All right. Did I just start? No, I'm actually going to be finishing up. Now, that's one way of doing it. Okay, let me rewrite this really quick. So now I'm going to flip it to the other side. 4 2/3. All right. So that was one way of doing it. Another way is I'm going to put my 3 and the 4. I'm going to put that off to the side and just add those two together. And I get a 7. So that 7, right now, you're just going to stay right where it is. But now, let me focus on the fractions. So I have 1/2 plus 2/3. And we're going to do the exact same thing that we did before. We need to have a common denominator. So we know that what is found in the 2 and the 3 times table, the lowest number is the 6. So now I need to multiply something to change that 2 to a 6. So I can multiply by 3, just like we were doing before. But if you notice, we're dealing with smaller numbers now. Okay, it's not too intimidating. So now my numerator is going to be 3 because 3 times 1 gives me 3. 3 times 2 gave us the 6 that we wanted. Doing the same thing on the other side. Multiply this by 2. Whatever I do in the denominator, I do in its numerator. So 3 times 2 gives me the 6 that I need. Now 2 times 2 gives me 4. If I add these two together, I'm going to get 7/6. And if I want to change that 7/6 to a mixed number, if we think of it this way, sometimes people get it better this way. If I take out one whole, so 6 divided by 6, that's one whole. If I take one whole out, that means I'm going to have 1/6 left. Now this whole that we took out of this lovely little fraction, we're going to add it. Remember this 7 that we had up here that said we're just going to put it down for a second? We're going to add that whole to the 7. So 7 plus 1, that gives me 8. And then I tack on the 1/6. Okay. If you wanted to do long division to get your 1 and 1/6 that way, to add it to the 7, you can do it that way too. Just want to show you that there is more than one way of getting the same correct answer. All right. Okay. Okay. So, for the most part, especially for a lot of people that are new to my live, one, welcome. Thank you so much for coming back. I know. Sorry I left you for so long, but I'm telling you, I'm creating something big and it needed my full attention considering it's just me. There's no one else. But I'm going to come here. I always keep replays. So if you want to replay, this is where you go. This is where you have to be. If you can subscribe, that will be awesome. So you can get like a lot of the replays that I have here. If you feel that, hey, this was great, but I need more, like I want to do more practice, well, stay tuned. Hopefully I can figure all the bugs out. I'm going to stay up late again tonight to have like a new process to my tutoring business, an AKA materials business, because for those that don't know, I also sell a lot of books, a lot of resources, and I am actually going to be presenting it in a different way. Because if we really stop and think about it, the reason why we're doing all this math is to improve on getting a better job. Let's stop and be real. Okay, if you notice that all the things that a lot of people say they should be teaching in school, they should say, oh, we should be teaching about taxes. They should be doing taxes. They should be talking about personal finance. They should be talking about like management. They should be talking about cooking, and they should be talking about coding, because coding is a big thing. Why are they not always teaching all these classes, talking about insurance? You know, all the adult stuff that we didn't have to like try to figure out as we moved on in age, right? They should be teaching all that. All that has math in it. And even the careers that you want to achieve, not jobs. I have to correct your thinking on that. A job is like, say, a teacher. Filing papers, that's a job. Okay, making sure you go into meetings and you're doing processing, that's your job. But your career is education. Your career is a chef. Your career is entrepreneur. Your career is all that. Being in the military, doing whatever you need to do. So what I like to do, man, this person is stalking me to death. Okay. So what I like to do is try to help you find careers and show you where the math is in that. So I think, and right here, right now, if you go to my profile and you click on my face, there is a link. There is a free assessment that's there. Yes, free, F-R-E-E, okay? F-R-E squared, okay? You can just look at the couple careers, and the couple careers that I have there is cybersecurity, gives you a little bit of information about that, teaching, and nursing, okay? I just did like a mini one with 3 of them. And take a look at the math that's involved. It comes with a free quiz on there, and it gives you an idea of what your next steps will be. So you can already go ahead and just click my face, or, you know, get the link in my bio, and you can actually download that for free. Okay, the only thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to see if I can collect your email. Not to give you 60 million two emails, because I got life too, but to give you updates of what can we do to help you with the next steps. Okay, so just with that, okay, hours of tutoring is absolute. Oh yeah, an hour, absolute. Is it? No, I don't think it is. Because you don't know all the prep and all the stuff that we have to do before we actually have the session. Yeah, definitely. So, are these useful obtaining your GED? Well, ask a couple people that's in there. So I know there's a couple people on this live right now that has passed their GED by watching my videos, by actually having me as their tutor and so forth. Speak up. Because I don't want to just keep tooting my own horn. I know some of you guys are tapping away, but you know, it's 1-on-1. Yep. So, and in most cases, it really is like stepping on the things. That's why I also offer a lot of my books. And of course, if you see the link in the bio, you'll see the different types of books that's going on there. So you'll be able to take a look at what it is, because I basically went through the whole curriculum. I've had people pass their GED, raise their scores with the ASVAB, had people pass their college algebra, because we sit and we break down concepts. So that's all I have for today. So, if anything, and that's fine. And then my whole thing is if you think it's too much, that's fine. That's your prerogative. You don't have to hire me as a tutor. You really don't. But as I'm about to end this live, I have a good 7 hours of tutoring. Yes, I said 7 hours. I have like a half an hour break in between three, and then I have another one because I have kids in different areas. So today I will be Maryland, Georgia, Florida, to my Californias, and my other West Coast baby in Washington State. So that's fine. Okay. Yes, it is. It's an hour. That's what it says per hour. Yes. Okay. I wish, Ray, I can say ChatGPT is going to put me out of business, but guess what? It's not. Because a lot of people have been using ChatGPT, and guess what? They've been failing their exams. And this is how I know, because their parents tell me, and they're like, I don't know what else to do. I'm always the last resort, but we get everything done. All right. Hey, I don't have to justify, but it's kind of hilarious because I noticed that, especially with me being an African-American woman, a lot of people think that buying black means buying cheap. And I know if I was a white male or even an Asian male, there will be no discussion. And they're charging $125 an hour doing exactly the same thing that I'm doing. But that's okay. You know why? Because that's okay. And you're on my live. Hi. And now that you made a comment, I'm going to be on your algorithm. Isn't that fun? What's up, bestie? Yeah. All right. So I got to get going because I got to get to my client. But I will try to be here. Actually, I will be here tomorrow. I'm not sure what time because sometimes I'll get last minute people and I really go with the tutoring before I come with the TikTok. All right, so just stay tuned. Give me a few hours to upload, and I will put everything up. All right, have an amazing day. Take care. Bye now.